want to thank everyone for coming for the Borderland Pride 2020 Pride Walk from International Falls to Fort Frances, and give us a round of applause for the Mother Pluckers for their playing today. Thank you very much. And I also just want to thank a few people for their support for this. My name is Bob DeGrosse. I'm the current president of the Rotary Club of International Falls, and we are working with Borderland Pride to facilitate the American side of the event today, and I just really appreciate you all coming out for this. I also want to thank Wells Fargo for donating the 21 and over gift basket. If you have not put your name in the drawing yet, you can go ahead and do that. It's at the table over there. And also Swanky Gifts on Rainy donated the all ages gift basket. And Coca-Cola Bottling of International Falls donated, there's water there. Please make sure they donated the water. Make sure that you take water. I was anticipating it being about 90 degrees today. So we have a ton of water and a ton of Freezy Pops. So please take them with you. But thank you for Coca-Cola Bottling for donating some of the water and everything. One of the things that the Rotary Club of International Falls started last fall, winter, and spring was a welcoming community initiative. And the club recognizes that, you know, for us to really grow, especially on the International Falls side here, I think one of the things that's important is to show people that, you know, we have a lot of things in common, but we have differences as well. And those differences are the things that make us very interesting and the things that we should really grow to understand and appreciate and encompass into our communities and things like that. So, and Pride is just a great extension of that. So thank you very much for coming out. We do have a few speakers before we get started here. And then one of the last speakers that we have is Doug Judson from Borderland Pride. And he'll give us some details as to how we'll do the walk from International Falls to Fort Frances. But before we do that, I do want to thank former Minnesota legislator Rob Eklund for coming out, an elected official that's always shown support for Pride. And I'd also like to take a moment to introduce the mayor of International Falls, Harley Droba, and City Commissioner Peter Keller to say a few words, please.
Thank you guys all for coming out today. It is greatly appreciated. I really want to say thank you to Rotary for starting the welcoming community initiative. Jeff had talked to me about it, and it's such an important thing. And I think that that's one of the things that we need as a community to grow. Everyone has the right to feel respected in our community. Everyone has the right to be happy and not have to fear anybody or anything in our community. And that's across the board, from race, religion, sex, sexual orientation. We need everyone in our community to feel safe, and this is part of it. I did get a horrible phone call last week, but the beauty of this is I got 3 phone calls of this. 2 of the phone calls that I received about this event today, they were kind, considerate, and it was good conversation. The other one was straight up belligerent. We don't need that. That's not what we want in our community. We need to get past that. So as we move forward in our community, I hope in 15 years, 5 years, next year, it's not going to happen next year. We don't have to have a pride, because the reality is everyone's treated equally in our community, but it's going to take a while. It's taken a while, it will take a while, and as long as we still have a need in our community, I am more than willing to be here and support you guys and every marginalized group that we have. So thank you guys so much for being here, and enjoy your walk all the way to Canada.
It won't take long, because I don't know how long I can keep him from knocking stuff. But I'd just like to reiterate what Harley said. This is very important, and we do want to be welcoming community. Not that we want to be. We are welcoming community in the. I think I know who he's speaking about the belligerent call. Well, I am not going to stay neutral on this issue, as long as people need support, whatever. Like Harley said, race, sexual orientation, whatever. We're a welcoming community. This is a good thing, and I'm half Canadian, so actually I get to take part in both my heritage. I just want to welcome everybody here. Have a good time. Look left, right, left when you're going across crosswalks so no one gets hit. And I would wear my Bud Light t-shirt, but it's a little dirty. But I think I'll go have a couple after this. But you're welcome. You're always welcome. I'll always be supporting you and the other groups. So have a good time. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I also want to recognize the other Rotarians that have helped out and that are here today. If you could just wave your hands and let everyone know that you're here. They helped bring the chairs and tables, brought everything together. So thank you very much for that. Showing support and respect and understanding and appreciation is also very important to be shown through our faith communities. And the Episcopal Church in Minnesota has been helping our Welcoming Community initiative quite a bit in a variety of different ways. And we really appreciate the Episcopal Church in Minnesota for doing that. And we have two representatives from the church today, Archdeacon Lee Grimm and Priest Sam Crossley, and they have a few words to say as well. So if the two of them could come up.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming. And we're going to read a statement from the Bishop of the Episcopal Church in Minnesota, Bishop Craig Loya, about pride in the church. And so Dr. Crossley here, our priest at Holy Trinity, is going to read, and I'll finish up.
A distinctive part of the Judeo-Christian faith is that the world, creation, human beings are fundamentally good, very good. Everything and everyone that God has made is inherently good, worthy of love, belonging, care, and tenderness. We are not good because of what we have done, but because of who God is and who we are as God's creatures, made for love with God and with one another. All of us carry a fear inside of us that there's something wrong with us, something flawed or broken inside of us, and we frantically scramble through life trying to prove that we are good. Religion in general, and Christianity in particular, has often reinforced the misguided notion that goodness is earned, not given. This deepens the sense of shame that we all carry around and damages our souls and connections with each other. For many years now, June has been observed around the country as Pride Month, committed to celebrating and affirming the given, inherent goodness of persons who identify as gay, lesbian, transgender, or queer. The church and the world have done incredible damage to our LGBTQ plus siblings. And there is currently a huge wave of legislation around the country to restrict their rights, freedoms, and access to critical care. There is room for a diversity of beliefs and perspectives in our church, and as followers of Jesus, we are always called to remind ourselves, one another, and the world around us that all human beings are not only good, but very good. There are people of all ages at this moment who, because they have been told over and over that there is something wrong with them, think it is better to be dead than to be gay or trans or queer or bisexual. That is why pride matters.
And further, the bishop goes on to write, we have a moral imperative to stand in the midst of that and remind our queer, trans, and non-binary siblings that we are very good. Pride is a time for us to stand with our siblings, to commit ourselves to supporting, affirming, protecting, and caring for them. I, Craig Loya, am so grateful for the many ways that the clergy and people of our diocese bear witness to the local parades, Eucharist, and celebrations of all kinds around Minnesota. No matter who you are or what identities you carry, I hope you will remember that you are not only very good, you are very, very good. You do not have to earn your goodness, and you cannot lose it. We don't love to achieve God's favor. We love effusively, exuberantly, joyfully, because God's favor has already been so fully, freely and irrevocably given. There's no balm in the world's needs more than people who know that they are very good, that they are endlessly loved, and who can use every breath they are given to invite others to know they are also. Grace and peace, the Right Reverend Craig Loya, 10th Bishop of the Episcopal Church in Minnesota.
So our main speaker today is Ashley Hall, and Ashley is a very active member in our community. And I thank you very much, Ashley, for being willing to be the key speaker today on the American side for this event. She's the executive director of the Koochiching County Food Access. She's on the board of trustees for the Northland Foundation, board of directors for Second Harvest North Central Food Bank. She owns Evolve You Fitness with her wife, and she has 4 kids and 2 dogs. She's originally from North Carolina. Oh, did you not want me to read that? Oh, no. Originally from North Carolina, but now she calls International Falls home. Thank you very much, Ashley, and let's give her a round of applause.
I don't typically talk with notes, so forgive me, but there's some key things I really wanted to say to so first of all, thank you guys for having me. It's really an honor, and I have to say this is probably the most nervous I've ever been speaking in front of a crowd. But before I say the things I want to say, I just wanted to really acknowledge the work that's been going on the Canadian and American side for the past, we say 54 years, because 54 years ago are when the Stonewall riots happened, but it's been going on long before that. None of us would be able to stand here. We wouldn't be able to walk down the street holding our wives and our husbands' hands. So there's really a lot of work that's been done before us, and I just really want to thank everyone. There's lots of people in this community, internationally and nationally, that have done the work. So before we go any further, I just really want to thank all the people that have done the work before us. So, like Bob said, I am not from International Falls. I grew up in southeastern North Carolina, southerner in my heart. And if you know anything about people from the South, you know that they are not afraid to stand up for what they believe in. So I grew up in a family just like that. I was brought up to be strong-willed, to speak my truth. I also was brought up to wear dresses and use the right forks and salads and say yes ma'am and no ma'am. So with all that being said, it was instilled in me at a very young age to always stand up for yourself and stand up for what's right. And my beloved grandmother, who's no longer with us, used to tell me all the time, be strong but be kind. And that's kind of what I tend to live with. I struggle with the kind part sometimes, self-admittedly, when there's a lot of bigotry and hate going on in the world, but I promise to always be strong. So like many people, they grew up in the South and grew up where I grew up. I, in my 20s, married a man. I had 2 kids. We lived all around the world, and life brought us to International Falls. When I moved here, I met my wife, and we have now been together for 10 years? 10-ish? 9-ish? Something like that. And then between us, there are 4 kids and 2 dogs, and also a rabbit. And it has been nothing but, for the most part, a really glorious journey. And I acknowledge that part of that is because I'm not from here. I didn't walk down the halls of Falls High School of Little Fork of Indus as a gay child. I acknowledge those are struggles and those are hard things. So not being from here, I think my experience was vastly different than maybe the teens that are growing up here now. Over the past actual month, I've had some regional conversations with people, and I've told them my story. I'm like, yep, married to a woman in International Falls, and they're like, wait, you moved to International Falls and then you met her and you got together? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, that had to be absolutely dreadful. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. And they're just so surprised by that. So that is due to the good work that's being done in these communities. And I really, really thank the people who've been there for us. Through that transition, we met some really amazing people. We made new friends. My family supported me, which was a huge blessing. I know that not everybody is that lucky. And some really, really amazing opportunities have come out of that. I have to say, one of the really good opportunities and good friendships is Carrie sitting behind me and Rachel. And as I was telling Rachel how nervous I was about this, she goes, but you married us. That was way more pressure than this. Yeah, so I just really thank the community for being how supportive you have been of us through this whole situation, this whole story. So something I've struggled with all that being said, when Bob asked me to speak, I'm like, why in the world would you want me to speak? What do I have to say? I haven't gone through a lot of things that people have gone through in their lives. But what I have gotten is I've gotten a really unique chance to sit at some tables. And so this week I was at a legislative meeting, and I swear he was talking to me, even though there's 40 other people in the room. And one of the representatives looked at me and he said, when you get to the table, you don't stop talking. You speak louder, and you speak until people listen to you and until they hear you, until the change happens. And so I think that maybe that's the reason that Bob asked me to come up here today, is because I want you all to know that no matter what your situation is, if you don't have the ability to stand up and speak, I'm going to speak for you. I'm going to stand behind you, I'm going to stand beside you, and I'm going to fight for you. And it doesn't matter if I know you or not. And I guarantee you that everyone in this park right now will stand behind you and stand beside you too. And I just really encourage everyone. I encourage you, no matter where you are in your life, your age, whatever it is, whatever your truth is, to just really live your truth. And that may be who you love, it may be who you don't love, it may be a new path that's in front of you, a new journey. Because when we start to live our journeys, really miraculous, beautiful things happen. And I want to give a shout out. There's some young people here, and I think the generation coming up is really spectacular because they're breaking down the definitions and the barriers that have been put on us for generations, for centuries, of what a man is, what a woman is, what it means to be married. All the definitions that have been placed on us and have been carried on our shoulders for so long are being broken down. And so keep doing that. Keep being who you want to be, and don't let the definitions that have been placed on us survive any longer. So all those young people that are here, I just thank you so much for living your truth and living your life. I can't thank you all enough for being here, for giving me this opportunity. I'm not sure if it made any difference at all in anything I said, but if there's nothing else, I want you to live your truth and live your life and not conform. And so I leave you with a quote from Ellen DeGeneres, who is like one of my favorite people. We're not supposed to conform. We're not supposed to be like somebody else. We're not supposed to act like somebody else. And as long as you stay true to exactly who you are, you will be rewarded in ways that you can't imagine. And I firmly, firmly believe that that's true. So live your life, your truth, and your light. And I promise you, amazing and beautiful things will happen in your life. Thank you so much.
It's always important to recognize that we all have value, and we all are very good, and everyone provides and makes a difference in their families, with their friends, with their communities, in their own way. And I appreciate all of you coming out in making that difference as well today. And one of the things that we're going to do to show our support and pride and acceptance and understanding is to do the walk from International Falls here over to Fort Francis. And I know that before we leave, we do want to try to get a picture in front of Smoky Bear Park, if everyone can cooperate with that. And to give more details, Doug Judson from Borderland Pride. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you to all those community leaders for those remarks. Let's just give them applause again. That was really touching. And we haven't been here together in a few years because you might have heard there was this thing called COVID-19. And so we're now past that and able to come together again. I also want to acknowledge that Fort Francis Mayor Andrew Halikas is here, and he'll be addressing us at the other end of the march. Thank you, Mayor Droba, as well, for your leadership and your comments today. So we're going to do a couple things before we go, get us moving. We're all a little cold. First thing, I want to just get a sense of who we have here. Who's here? Who's an ally? Okay, that's really important because the work that Rotary is doing with the Welcoming Communities initiatives is really a coded way of building allyship in the community and making people stronger allies for diversity and inclusion. And so all of you are living proof and the statistics that is working. And we appreciate that at Borderland Pride, and we're really proud that you're all here in International Falls today because of it. Now, I mentioned my name is Doug. My pronouns are he and him. I'm here with my people today. My partner Peter is right here. My mom is here. My brother is here with my nephew and the cute wagon over there.
All you need